Welcome to the Whiskey Tribe. Daniel, we're heading towards the holidays, so we asked the Whiskey Tribe, community of magnificent bastards, imagine you're choosing the whiskey selection for a party next weekend. From whiskey noobs to nerds, your guest list includes a wide variety. What crowd pleaser whiskeys are you choosing?
Bringing everybody into the circle.
Don't want to bore the whiskey lovers to death, but you don't want to take the head off of whiskey noobs with something that is too challenging, too hot, too high proof.
I'm kind of excited about every whiskey on this list.
So far, this is a hell of a party if this is the whiskey selection.
Honestly, I would just bring the whiskey selection they voted.
Yeah.
all of it. Now, number 10 at the time that we pulled this list, I really like it.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to see it.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had this one in a while. Highland Park 12.
Yeah, I think this whiskey, as we go through them, we'll decide, is this catering to the nerds or the noobs?
Okay.
And on the nose already.
This is a nod in the direction of the nerds.
It's leaning.
While still being accessible, because that dominant sherry cask and the slight sulfur peat note that Highland Park has is beautiful.
Yeah.
But not for everybody.
And the thing that always jumps out to me is it's like that burnt match smell, right? Whenever you blow out the match.
Which you had a lot of experience with in a previous episode. This is a pleasant version of that.
And then behind that, there's like this floral, these wildflowers, some sweet honey drizzled on top. It's a really nice, complex whiskey.
Minus the sulfur and the peat smoke, this could lean in the direction of noob.
The sweet.
If holiday fruitcake sweetness and desserty and the sherry cask takes it that direction for people.
Yeah.
All right, next up, I know it's no surprise, but of course, Monkey Shoulder made the play.
Monkey Shoulder has been a huge whiskey the past several years. This is a blended malt, correct?
I would argue
Scotch.
This one threads the needle pretty 50-50.
Okay.
In the sense of it's not as boring as a generic blend.
Right.
Right, like a Johnny Walker Red or something like that. It's got a little more heft to it and a little more body. However, against it on that note, it's very malt forward because it's a malt blend, not a general blend.
Right.
That funky, musty malt note could be a little too heavy-handed.
Is this a nod in the direction of the noobs or the nerds?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say, just because of the friendliness and sweetness of the flavors and the low proof, there's nothing that you have to be an enthusiast to really appreciate. I think even newcomers can get this in a glass and feel, oh, this is nice, this is sweet, with the asterisk of you liking what malt whiskey is. But if you like that, then yeah, there's plenty to like in here.
Are you ready for number 8?
I am.
Because it's your namesake.
It's super rare.
It's very rare.
Actually became kind of rare.
And ironically, the reason that they don't sell this anymore, or it's harder to get, is because it's actually made from eagles.
It can be really tricky to get your hands on this.
Yeah,
at least in Texas.
And it's 10 years old, which is why it's, for the price point, a good bourbon.
Yeah, all right, it's 45%, and already on the nose, that's that light oak and a cherry. If you're in a bourbon, you're often gonna find that cherry, but it's that light, sweet oak. It's really nice on the nose.
The noobs will enjoy the classic simplicity of this one, because even at 10 years, it's 45% alcohol. And it just drinks really soft and pretty.
It's really nice in a neat pour. I think it probably lands squarely between noobs and nerds.
But the next one, they went Irish and they went green spot, which is a little special and a little fancy, which makes holiday things feel a little cool, but it's accessible price point. And son of a bitch, if this isn't, once again,
a really nice Irish.
Right down the damn middle.
Easy to love.
There's complexity to it because it's a pot still. It's not like the budget Jameson.
Yeah, and there's that that tiniest little bit of coconut in there.
Oh, it's so good. Coconut.
Which is a rare note in most whiskeys.
Buttercream. Shortbread.
Yeah. These are easy flavors to love. So the noobs, you're not getting a high proof that's going to take your head off. This is, wow, I didn't realize it was all the way down to 40%.
It is, but it doesn't taste like
proof.
Drink it, and it's buttercream frosting on a yellow cake.
It has a lot more body than what you would typically get at an 80 proof, a 40% whiskey.
Yeah, it drinks well above its proof weight.
Yeah, still the flavors, the complexity, which is really nice for the nerds. I think the 40%, because you can tell this is perfectly lovely, perfectly nice, but this is a whiskey that you know will give you more if you start bumping up the proof, the ABV.
So you think it loses a step for nerds?
I think it loses a step for nerds.
Okay.
I think the noobs are gonna love this.
So this is like a 60-40?
45-55.
Next up, Maker's 46.
The 46.
Specifically,
the 46.
The 46.
How is the 46 different than the standard Maker's mark?
Because on the front, it says Maker's 46. This is their like specialty stave, inserting other oak staves inside of barrels to develop additional flavors.
This is the richest oak that we've had so far, and it is a sweet oakiness, and it has almost a maraschino cherry note.
You're getting way more cherry on this one than I am.
I am getting specifically the maraschino.
Yeah.
The flavored kind of really sugar bright red cherry. Ooh.
I'm getting way more grass and corn dust on this one.
I'm not getting grass or corn dust. I'm getting like a very sweet eucalyptus. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah, maybe that's the same category in my head. A little more density to it. It's still only 47, which is higher. Here's the thing. I think this fell into the nerd category a little further. If they had gone generic Makers, I would have said it threaded the needle.
Yeah.
But Maker's 46 is a little bit extra.
But this doesn't leave the noobs in the dust.
No. It's accessible.
Right.
I'd say 70-30.
Okay.
To whiskey nerd to noob.
I would say 60-40. Whiskey nerd to whiskey noob. You know what? There's not a lot that's like challenging for a newcomer here.
Well, it's density. There's a density to this.
Okay.
And there's a higher proof. It's 47 compared to everything we've had up to now. It's a bit higher.
I mean, even just compared to the green spot, that extra little bump in the ABV and the proof, that's where the flavors are kind of, they feel like they're at home. And they're not getting a little bit too watered down.
This one I think is going to provide that heft. But if I remember correctly, the Woodford Double Oaked, which shows up next on the list, is still accessible.
Okay, so whenever you say accessible, we keep saying accessible. Well, talking about price point, talking about availability, we're talking about flavors.
Flavor.
Okay.
I'm primarily talking about flavor with all of these, because all of these are in a relatively accessible price point.
Yeah, most aren't really hard to find, I think. Except spoilers. Hi.
Oh, yeah.
Is the number one.
What?
This episode is sponsored by Honey. Honey is the #1 shopping tool in America. So, Dan is already using Honey. Alex already uses Honey. Hey, Brianna, do you shop?
I do shop.
Come here. Do you use Honey yet? You know what it is?
No.
Okay, so basically, it automatically searches for promo codes and discounts for the things that you're already shopping for. It works on tons of sites, tons of the stuff that you're already buying. It's not an extra thing. It's just a tool that automatically saves you money. Do you like money?
I love money.
This does not require a lot of explanation. It's really easy. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna go to joinhoney.com/whiskeytribe. There we go. You push the button.
Oh.
Smash the savings button.
Smash it.
Smash it, Brianna.
Smash it.
Wow, we did it. Hey, Brianna, do you wear shoes?
I do.
You can save.
Wow.
Do you play video games? You can save. Let me confirm. You can save. So, where do you go, Brianna?
The store.
No.
Joinhoney.com/whiskeytribe.
It's so good.
Okay, there is way more of a medicinal note to this nose.
I would say it's like a woody molasses.
Yeah, but the density of the notes in this thing make it feel like it's weighted with flavors.
You really taste the oak staves. You know, I'm a little bit impressed by the color, because this is a thin bottle. And usually whenever you get something that thin, it really lightens up the color. That's holding a really strong dark color.
This has the density but sweetness of the palate that I was looking for in 46. And in 46, I just got a density of flavor, but this has a density and a richness to it.
The nerds or the noobs? What's this one leaning towards there?
More nerds.
More nerds, you think so?
The density of flavor.
I think the density and the barrel tannin, it tickles bitter. It doesn't get overly bitter, but it does start to get a little bit woody and bitter. And if you're really just going for sweetness and things that are thin, you're not gonna find it here. This has density, this has heft.
Next up, the surprise contender. Angel's Envy.
If I remember correctly, Angel's Envy isn't strictly a bourbon.
It's a bourbon finished in port wine barrels.
That is the legal
definition.
category.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lighter. It's a little bit of was that peanut?
Yeah, there's a dust and a grain forward note.
Like shelled peanuts.
Interestingly, not getting a lot of the port wine in the nose, but if I remember correctly, for Angel's Envy, for me, the nose is a very astringent and sort of grain forward bourbon, but the palate, that's where the port wine finish shows up. And
It is
because
sweeter on the taste.
most whiskey drinkers who are noobs are just going for taste.
Yeah.
They're not spending a lot of time nosing their glass. Even though it's more expensive, this one's gonna deliver a really pleasing entry-level bourbon drinker. Oh, that's beautiful kind of reaction.
43.3%.
I always find Angel's Envy a little lacking in the nose, but just coming through in spades in the palate.
I think I'm missing some of the complexity and the layering that was just delivered with the Maker's 46 and the Woodford. I mean, hell, even the Green Spot at an 80 proof at a 40%, that had, I think, more complexity for me on the taste.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is more, ironically, more noob.
Any nerd isn't going to turn their nose at it.
Absolutely. I mean, I would, if I showed up at a party and there were options and this is one of them, I would be grateful and glad to have that in the glass.
All right.
Next up is the return to Ireland with the one that we just really hate.
It's the worst whiskey I've ever had in my life.
Just can't even barely get it down.
Right. I don't want to look at it.
Redbreast. I don't even want to look at your face anymore.
I don't even want to look at it so much that it just needs to disappear so I don't look at it.
Oh no, your glass is empty. How did that happen?
It's gone. I have to look at it. Oh God, again, it just keeps coming back.
There must be a leak in the bottle.
It's like a bad penny, it just keeps coming back.
God. Yeah, and your bottle is that.
Son of a bitch. Why do you keep making me look at this? So of course the Redbreast 12.
It's got everything that Green Spot had in the direction of shortbread and round and buttery, but Green Spot goes in the direction of fruity and coconut.
Yes.
Redbreast goes in the direction of barrel and heft and almost a copper metallic note.
Like when there's a savory, creamy, desserty richness to it for me. This is gonna be a 40%, 80 proof whiskey. And for that reason, I say, I think this is leaning towards the noobs a little bit.
Really?
I do, because once you have had a Redbreast cask strength.
Oh yeah, so.
Once you understand.
Comparatively speaking,
Once you understand, but again, that's that's the framework that whiskey nerds are approaching this from.
They have background in all these other things.
All the experience. So they're not gonna be put out by a Redbreast 12.
Right.
But they will know, it's like, at a higher proof, this is just on another level. This is the kind of whiskey that I very often recommend to my non-whiskey friends whenever they see me and say, hey, you're my whiskey guy, what should I get? It's like, what do you like? A Jameson? All right, we're gonna take this up a notch.
Go to Redbreast 12.
You're gonna go up into the Redbreast 12. They're gonna get some more richness. You're gonna get the pot still.
Yeah, it makes all the difference.
That makes a big difference.
Makes all the difference.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 is definitely not Buffalo Trace.
Why would you say that? It is. Buffalo Trace. This is a wildly popular whiskey.
And you know
Not surprised it's at the top of the list.
I like that most of the big stores that sell this have made it allocated, which means you can only get one bottle per person and things like that. But they haven't cranked the price through the roof. So most of the places that have gone, they're saying you can only buy one bottle, but it's $40.
Right.
There's a reason this is as desired as it is. It's a reasonable price.
It tastes
just good bourbon.
This has been very, very sought after for a minute.
Yeah.
Do you think it's reached the point of being overhyped? Or do you think it's like, no, it's not overhyped. It's actually worth all of the people that are trying to chase it down?
So here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think what caused the hype is still true. Reasonably priced, damn good bourbon.
Okay.
That has not changed no matter how many people do or don't want it. Now, the drive to get it, I think is hyped. Now, here's what I like about this compared to all the other bourbons that we've had so far.
Damn though.
This one threads the needle
so nicely balanced
of the oak and the fruit.
Yes, balance is the word.
Perfect.
Balance is the word that jumped out for me.
This, of all the bourbons we've tried today, is the most balanced.
Yeah.
It delivers on all of the fronts of a classic bourbon.
It does feel like it's just this well-rounded swell of complementary flavors.
Yeah.
You got this fruitiness, you got the oak, that nice astringent tea, and then eventually it finishes with kind of the fruit preserves. No.
Half and half.
I'm gonna agree.
On hype, I would say it would lean towards the nerds because they went looking for it.
Do you think?
But on the delivery of drinking it, forget about hype.
Right.
Are you ready for the final?
Okay. I wonder what this could be, Daniel.
It could be only one.
Right.
It's Wild Turkey 101.
All right, so it's not the standard Wild Turkey.
Yeah, well, the thing about this one is that Matthew McConaughey made this.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what makes it so good.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it better taste, I'm so sorry. It better taste
All right. So why did Wild Turkey make it to the top? Because, dude, this, I think,
So
100% delivers on the premise,
Yeah.
which is a high enough proof that the nerds are like, yeah, that's a damn good whiskey and it holds its weight.
101 proof.
It smells good. It's got a little more vanilla than the other ones had.
And it's just
For a 101,
Yeah.
it drinks as easily as any 40%
the
something.
dark, rich honey, the oakiness. Once again, we had it with the Buffalo Trace, and now we're having it with the Wild Turkey 101. These top two, supremely well balanced.
Oh yeah, and stands up to cocktails
Right.
because the proof,
Right.
stands up to ice because the proof, stands up to Coke.
You know what's happening? In the Whiskey Tribe, we have the Cultivar bag, and they're very culty and loud and bombastic with their culty ways. But
Secretly.
Wild Turkey,
Yeah.
these Wild Turkey MBs, they are much more effective
Oh yeah.
at getting their beloved whiskey at the top of these lists.
Yeah.
So they are.
What do you want to be, famous or effective?
Oh, just saying, our bag.
Damn.
If you got a crowd pleaser whiskey recommendation that's friendly enough for noobs but not too boring for nerds, let's see in the comments below. Speaking of crowds, we are about to have several hundred magnificent bastards here in Austin, Texas for a big event, the Bastards Ball. It's a bunch of MBs from Patreon. Their names are flying by right now. Thank you guys. We're looking forward to it.